Stakes at Doncaster when he finished 2 lengths second behind Prince of Dance, and I think that represents some of the very best form in England this season. He's 6-4 favourite from 7-4. What a lovely easy way he's got of moving, John.
Yes, it's hard to believe watching him go down that he lost his second race by running much too freely in the early stages when Kalansky beat him at Lingfield by half a length. He'd run pretty freely the first time early on, but Steve Cawthon thought that the turn at Sandown helped to get him settled a lot. On the straight course at Lingfield he had problems, but having said that, he settled all right in the Champagne Stakes for Willie Rowan at Doncaster, and there's a bend here after about 2.5 furlongs, so I think that Willie will get him settled pretty well. If so, I think he'll be hard to beat.
Rather interesting, John, as you see Willie Rowan riding with his toes in the iron. All of our young riders nearly always copy the champion, and just because Steve Cawthon, I think, brought that over here. And another one that does it even more so than Steve is Cash Asmussen. How he keeps his irons, I don't know, because he just has his big toe in, and that's all.
Cash on 174 winners, incidentally, Jimmy, chasing the record 184 by Yves Saint Martin, and also in with a chance of getting the 200.
Of course, they go on till December, John, too, don't they? So he's got much more of a chance of doing it than Pat has.
He's got about 30 days racing to get 26 winners.
There is Always Valiant on the left of the picture. Pat Eddery in the saddle. Always Valiant has to give £5 to his rivals. That was for winning the Group 3 July Stakes at Newmarket. He found the very useful Classic Fame, 2 lengths too good for him in the National Stakes over 7 furlongs at the Curragh last month. So it's going to be very interesting, because we've got a direct line here between us and the Irish, because Always Valiant is reckoned, Classic Fame I should say, is reckoned to be the top 2-year-old in Ireland. Let's see how Always Valiant runs here today, John.
He only just beat Frequent Flyer by a neck at Newmarket in the July Stakes. That form didn't really look good enough, but as you say, he'd probably improve considerably when running second to Classic Fame at the Curragh. Pat Eddery. There's number 4, Anaf, one of the 2 runners owned by Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum, the other being El Zim, but Anaf carries the first colour, 7-1 from 8-1. He's had only one outing at Beverley, winning by 8 lengths from Al Mansoura on firm ground. Different ground and very different opposition here, Jimmy.
Gone up a class, John. He looked well. He looked well in the paddock, didn't he? And he's got a lovely front. He's by Topsider, who's turned out a very top-class stallion. And like all Tom Jones's, is, as I say, a really good-looking individual.
One that looks outstandingly well is Sheikh Hamdan's other runner, El Zim, carrying the second colours, the red cap, ridden by Willie Carson. El Zim won a 3-horse race here earlier in the season. That was his only success to date. He could finish only 3rd to Snow Bride and Double Prosperity at the end of August. He's not amongst the first 4 in the betting, but if looks are anything to go by, he'll give his back as a good run. 13-8 Shining Steel, 5-1 bar.
John said he's been beaten twice since his winning ways, and usually when the horse does get turned over, well, very seldom do they come back and pop a Group 3 under their belt. But I've seen better Horris Hills than this Vodafone Horris Hill. The field looks a little bit under par, but I think Shining Steel has a bit of class. And I think he'll settle well down today for Willie Rowan. He's drawn 8, Shining Steel. There he is, standing quietly at the back of his field. I'll put him in pretty late, I would say. There's number 10, Gran Alba, trained by Richard Hannon. Stayed on well at Doncaster in September, finishing 8 lengths 3rd behind Shadi. He'll have benefited from that race a lot. He's quite a big individual. Brian Rouse in the saddle. Number 4, Anaf, about to go in, as I was saying. I think that Shining Steel is going to be one of the last, if not the last. Let's go to Peter.
Yes, Shining Steel, the last to be installed. It's Always Valiant nearest to us, and that's it. They're all in, under orders. 13 to 8 the field, and they're away. Always Valiant on the inside. Elzim well up there too. Guriev not far off the lead. French Pretender just behind the leaders. But it's Always Valiant on the rail from Elzim towards the outside. Then comes Anaf and French Pretender, and on the inside the grey Gran Alba. Always Valiant the leader from Elzim, Anaf and Gran Alba. Then comes French Pretender, then Shining Steel, the favourite, Guriev, and Écossais Danseur coming down to the half-mile marker. Elzim on the near side, Always Valiant on the far side. French Pretender making a little ground towards the near side. Shining Steel coming there now quite strongly too. Écossais Dancer making a little bit of ground. Always Valiant on the far side, Elzim on the near side. These two still disputing it as they race down to the two-pole. Always Valiant on the far side, Elzim, French Pretender, then comes Shining Steel, Écossais Danseur trying to get on terms with them inside the final two. Always Valiant making ground on the far side, Gran Alba on the near side, Shining Steel, and Guriev coming there too. French Pretender still in contention inside the final furlong. Always Valiant being pressed now by Guriev on the near side. Guriev on the near side beginning to get up as they race towards the line. Guriev, Always Valiant, holding Guriev though at the line. It's a photo between Always Valiant and Guriev with Anaf third. A photo between Always Valiant and Guriev. Very, very close between these two. Guriev getting up all the time in the closing stages. Has he just got there in time to peg